sessions. Once we're done with those parent sessions, we're gonna go straight into entering those scores into Redstone. While you're entering those scores, I'll be going over some few things, but that's essentially the bulk of our time here. So first thing first, we're gonna do a whip around. And I'll make sure I have low tech at this point if I can have 100% of people. We're gonna do a quick whip around, and then you'll get a chance to open Redstone. We're gonna start, then you're gonna enter your score in Redstone. Here's your whip around. In your classes that you went today, what is one highlight about that teacher or that classroom? Okay? For one of the classes you went today, highlight somebody. What is the highlight about that person or that classroom? We're gonna start on my left and make your way all the way around.
I think one highlight for Canto is that she's learning to pivot. She put her student-facing document on the computer, and she tried to put it on the board and just give them a blank sheet of paper, and that did not work for her. So she was like, in the moment, she was like, okay, so let's move to this part that's still about the lesson. And so she was like, okay, so since you can't read it, I'm gonna read it, and then we are gonna turn and talk about it. So.
And she has some turns on?
Yes.
Yeah,
she picking it up.
Okay, yes.
Slow process,
She was
she
moving
picking it up,
fast.
yeah.
She was one of the quickest learners I've seen.
Yeah, she picking it up.
Let's give her two snap, yeah. I understand the space.
I really liked seeing Science's class. Like we went to the end of his class, but they had an activity where you had, I guess the students drew a picture, but then they had to give instructions on a partner to draw the same picture. And that was just really cool to see how they came out, the similarities, and some were way different, some were way similar. So I just thought that was a really good communication piece to extend from yesterday. He did a lot of talking about, or had one by one, but now the students were interacting, and I think that's going to be really pivotal for the rest of his day, that activity. So that communication piece.
That's a science, love it.
Yeah.
Just stand for him. Did you record or take pictures?
No, I mean, because we just popped in, it was exit ticket time, so we just popped in and out, and then we were asking the students what were they doing, and that's what it was.
Okay.
Mine is Mayweather. His class was very engaging. He related the lesson to real life experiences.
Oh, you thinking about
Mir-
Ellis?
No,
Manyweather?
Manyweather. What I call the man?
Miss Manyweather?
No, the man with the dreads.
Ellis.
Sorry.
That's what I'm like, Mayweather,
This is
Mr.
being recorded, kid.
It's been recorded?
Yes, we got to cut down.
Okay. Yes.
That's okay. That's Mr. Ellis though.
Mr.
Mr.
Ellis.
Ellis.
Oh,
His
yeah,
class was
he was
very
great.
engaging. He related to real life experiences and told the kids how much money they make in whatever field. They were glued to that PowerPoint. So his was very engaging.
I would say with council, she, with the positive narration, they're in group discussions, and she approached the table and they stopped talking. And so she was able to say, no, you guys are doing great, keep going, I'm not here. And so that was really good.
Okay, so two snap on 1, 2, 1, 2.
For me, I think it would be Anthony Foster. During his exit ticket time, he had already set the expectation for them to be silently working on the things individually, and they followed that thoroughly. So for just us being there, they were not bothered by us being in there. They were truly just focused on the task at hand. So that was a highlight for me.
That's great. Two snap on 1, 2, 1, 2. Vicky?
Mine would be Peebles. Her whole group narration, she was just she was moving around. She kept coming back to say, I saw this group do this, X, Y, Z. She had her clear information on the board, and students were following along, and she just kept encouraging kids. She's like, I want to hear you talking, I want to hear you talking about this, so I was really proud of her.
I'll give it 1 second. All right. Then look, can you help with the game room? I'll be right over there. I brought them upstairs already.
Okay.
I had to step away.
No, you're good.
One thing I want to make sure I'm naming, sorry, I'll just segue. Alexander sent out a CPI Google form for training. I want to make sure you all signing up for CPI training. That is key. I want to make sure all games.
Oh no, I just sent it to leadership. I didn't send it to leadership.
Oh,
I think I
please
just
make
sent
sure
it to
you
you, but I
forward
will
it
send it
to
to
all of them. Please make sure you're signed up
I'll do
for
that right now.
CPI training because we do have highly students here. There might be time where we need your help. Thank you very much. But let's move on to the second part. first thing first, I wanna make sure we are highlighting our people, cause you are putting a lot of work and our people are growing, right? We gotta keep that same energy, living that little positive notes, whatever the case might be, just making sure our people see that we see them. Now, let's talk first five, last five. Each one of you were assigned the floor. Blair and Vega, you had the garden. Cookie and Baker, you had the second floor. Mama Justin Alexander, you had the first floor. So just out of the people, you see the numbers, right? How many people were at the door, mean expectation. Let's start on the second floor. Cookie and Baker.
All of math, so that's 3. What did you say, all of science, because 2 of them were like in their doors, and so our feedback to them was to move actually into the hallway, because we can't see them from the hallway. I don't know about Gabe. Gabe wasn't at the door.
No, he wasn't door.
So then Gabe.
Probably the natural transition, which
There-
makes sense.
yeah.
The natural
So then
transition. That makes sense.
Gabe is the only one, but all the other teachers within a minute, they were at the threshold.
And welcoming kids as well, being positive in the hallway. Okay, shout out second floor, shout out Stan, shout out to Evan on the second floor. First floor, let's go down.
We were thinking about that, cause it was in, Laura was there.
On this first floor, if you're, I can spend the first floor there.
Set signs,
No, sign was not there.
No, Sasha was there because Mr. E was there.
I think like the
talking
teachers
to-
that were on that floor.
So then it was
Oh.
Ellis and then you were Ballas and looking down that way.
Ellis was,
You were missing
Whatever.
signs, you were missing Laura.
okay, and
No,
Laura.
Laura was
there.
there. She was, so the thing with Laura was she was letting her students out, but she was at the door. But students were exiting because she had them lined up in her classroom.
Cause we were going to her door next and
Mhm.
kids were about the bell rang, so she was there.
Mr. Baker, you're welcome.
Hmm?
William?
Yes, William
Okay.
Baker.
So Laura was there, Ellis was there.
So that person did not have a sign. I did talk with sign about
Okay.
being at the door, and I also named
Okay.
that Alexander, so you can follow up next time, see if he's at the
Okay.
door. He was collecting exit ticket, but I showed him a better strategy. You can be at the door, collect that exit ticket, and say
Okay.
goodbye to the kids
Yeah.
rather than walking to each one and grabbing it. So, other than that, we had everybody else out? Okay, perfect. What about garden?
Everybody was there.
Oh, okay.
Green went back in her class for like 2 seconds and grabbed her, cause she talked to them
Yeah.
like that. And she grabbed that and walked back out, like we bumped into her, but everybody else was there.
So admin on those specific floors, please make sure as you walk past and you see your people, let them know, thank you for being at the door, thank you for bringing the positivity. Just like we expect teachers to positively narrate, you need to model positive narration as well. When you walk around, you see the positivity, narrate that for your people. Then you're gonna get used to narration and you're gonna do that for your people. Alright, so now let's do a sparring session, so we know where we landed on a rubric. So, you pass me this please, Mr. Baker? Alright, let's start with, who wanna start with the sparring?
You wanna start?
Alright, let's start. So what did y'all see first?
Miss
Mathis.
Mathis. Oh, let's start with games. Mathis, yesterday Mathis did not have a board configuration, a couple of things, so let's see the improvement from today. Do you wanna start with the re or wanna start with culture?
Re,
Re,
I did
okay.
this mostly re. Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into reading. 1.1, do you wanna do a quick shake, show to see where y'all both landed on numbers?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, you can.
Shake, shake,
Show.
that's 1.1.
Yep, we got a 1 and a 2. What's the difference here?
So she was, they were watching like a video, but she was like discussing the video as it was going on, like pausing it, asking like good questions. The one thing I wanted to see more of was just that conversation. It says students take ownership of their needs, and it just was like the same-ish. I wanted her to push to see all the students participate, because it was just a video, and then in the beginning it was really low, and then I kinda helped her with the volume piece. So I just thought that could have been better.
So with that real-time coaching.
So, and then, so I don't think it was this high, I think really it was, but now I can't remember how many kids she had in her class.
She had
Like
10. She had 10 kids and she called on 4
4, yeah.
of the 10.
Oh, sorry.
So, and she did ask whole class questions. It's just some of the kids didn't respond, but 4 she called individually and they all responded, but she did the whole
All
class.
11 responded?
Yeah,
Yes.
so my push
Okay.
would have been like if she did like a turn in talk or had them talk to each other, then there would have been more engagement. That would have set me up to a 2, maybe even a 3. But because it was just kind of dry, like one by one.
Mhm.
Anytime it's a one by one, it's like you're just not getting a big chunk of your students participating. For me,
And she did try, she did
she
push
did try, yeah.
for everybody to participate.
Okay.
Some of the kids were just
Yeah.
not willing, but the 4 that she called individually, they all responded.
Okay.
And then even when she did the whole class, some of them, most of them responded. It was 10 kids, I would say 7 of them responded.
Okay.
That's why I gave her a 2.
Two. Coach, if you can have your Western open, so as we certify those numbers,
But
we
I'll-
keep going down, we can have the 1. 1.2, so you don't have to go back in your office having to do double work. If you have it open, you can already put your numbers in.
My Weston's not letting me log in
Oh, okay.
yet. I put a ticket in, but it's my name change is messing up everything.
Alright,
It's
one
not
of us will
Weston.
have to enter it in for you, so if you can just copy notes down
Mhm,
exactly
yeah.
how you want us to put it, the notes, the number, so we'll just copy and paste for you, that's very doable. For 1.2, shake, shake, show, we're gonna move a little bit faster.
Oh, shoot, okay.
Ready?
Mhm.
All right.
See, like, so my thing was, like, she had her board up, she had like a routine, so it seemed like she had a routine in place, like, they were all sitting there, they had, when the video ended, Fabian, this was a miss too, but Fabian turned on the lights, like,
Mhm.
that's kind of his thing, and she was like, yeah, and then, they were going, they just seemed to know, like, there was already a routine in place, like, when they went to transition from the video to just that conversation piece, they knew what to do. It wasn't chaotic, it wasn't like,
I couldn't tell them
So-
what to do.
You couldn't tell?
No, and the video was low at first, so they couldn't hear it.
right.
And she turned it up, and the board was up, but it didn't match what she was teaching. She hadn't changed it for the day.
No, it was, her do now was there, but she
The
had,
board configuration
Yeah,
was yesterday's.
Attention teachers,
so
please
it
follow
was
up
her
to take
today,
attendance.
it was her syllabus and stuff for today, but she was doing her English lesson at that point, so the push would be for her to have all her content on the board, but that's just a lot, cause it's 3 different content.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to like push her to figure that out, cause Ms. Goodwin has something, but her board is still different too, because she does have all 3 contents,
Okay.
but it's not, yeah.
What has been the guidance from the district when it comes to, for Ganzo C's spaces, how do we have, okay. So here's one thing I wanna name right here. I love the sparring. What is the impact, and I'm gonna call on the audience right here, what is the impact of having sparring sessions like that?
You're able to hear somebody see something that you didn't see.
This can relate to one of our norms. Which norm would that be?
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. This is the impact. We'll help each other get better. For the sake of time, here's what we're about to do. So we are keep it in mind and move it closer to bigger. We will do shake, shake, show. We'll have small conversation amongst each other instead, and I'll hop around to be able to participate in one conversation. Because you have multiple people, and if we go through it one person at a time, it will take us a little bit of time, right? So right now, you're gonna go through your partners. As the coach, you will have the final say to enter the number, but do hear what your counterpart is saying and push it, right? We're gonna do shake, shake, show every time. I wanna see the shake, shake shows. Let me actually move the camera a little bit. I wanna see the shake, shake shows, right? Every time, and then we discuss why we landed this way. So you can start whenever you are ready.
Oh, no, 1.1. Oh, no, 1.2. No, 1.2.
1.3.